Okay, there we go. All right, so we're gonna watch a quick 5-minute video. It's just a lecture by Matthew McConaughey. If you know who that is, he's an actor. He's written a couple books. I think he's pretty funny. But anyways, it was really great. I just needed an encouraging word this week. We've had some setbacks, but that's part of business, is you don't always get to win, right? You don't always win. This week's ticket sales were really low, and I haven't had that in um, a long while. So sometimes it's, humbling, and then making sure you go over all your marketing materials again and refresh, reconnect with your partners. So it's good. It's good and it's not good. It's not good for my wallet, but it's good for your business to get back down to the basics, make sure everything's running correctly, make sure Google looks good, and go to all your um, range partners and your gun stores and reconnect with everybody. So here's just a 5-minute word. I do want to say before I forget that, excuse me, I'm going to look at my calendar real quick. Next, okay, next Monday's fine. Monday, yeah, Monday the 21st, no class. So I just wanted to keep that in mind. So I guess it's essentially called Easter Monday. We will not have class. All right, here we go. Let me mute myself. And give me a thumbs up and make sure you hear everything, okay?
I'm going to talk to you about some things I've learned in my journey. Most from experience, some of them I heard in passing, many of them I'm still practicing, but all of them I do believe are true. Life is not easy. It is not. Don't try to make it that way. Life's not fair. It never was. It isn't now, and it won't ever be. Do not fall into the trap, the entitlement trap, of feeling like you're a victim. You are not. Get over it and get on with it. So the question that we've got to ask ourselves is, what success is to us? What success is to you? Is it more money? That's fine. I got nothing against money. Maybe it's a healthy family. Maybe it's a happy marriage. Maybe it's to help others, to be famous, to be spiritually sound, to leave the world a little bit better place than you found it. Continue to ask yourself that question. Now, your answer may change over time, and that's fine. But do yourself this favor. Whatever your answer is, don't choose anything that will jeopardize your soul. Prioritize who you are, who you want to be, and don't spend time with anything that antagonizes your character. Be brave, take the hill, but first answer that question, what's my hill? So first, we have to define success for ourselves. And then, we have to put in the work to maintain it. Take that daily tally. Tend our garden. Keep the things that are important to us in good shape. Where you are not is as important as where you are. It is just as important where we are not as it is where we are. Look, the first step that leads to our identity in life is usually not, I know who I am. I know who I am. That's not the first step. The first step's usually, I know who I am not. Process of elimination. Defining ourselves by what we are not is the first step that leads us to really knowing who we are. You know that group of friends that you hang out with that really might not bring out the best in you? You know, they gossip too much, or they're kind of shady. They really aren't going to be there for you in a pinch. Or how about that bar we keep going to that we always seem to have the worst hangover from? Or that computer screen, right? The computer screen that keeps giving us an excuse not to get out of the house and engage with the world and get some real human interaction. Or how about that food that we keep eating? Stuff that tastes so good going down, makes us feel like crap the next week. We feel lethargic, we keep putting on weight. Well, those people, those places, those things, stop giving them your time and energy. Just don't go there. I mean, put them down. And when you do this, when you do put them down, you quit going there, and you quit giving them your time, you inadvertently find yourself spending more time and in more places that are healthy for you, that bring you more joy. Why? Because you just eliminated the who's, the where's, the what's, and the when's that were keeping you from your identity. Look, trust me, too many options, I promise you this, too many options will make a tyrant of us all. All right, so get rid of the excess, the wasted time. Decrease your options. If you do this, you will have accidentally, almost innocently, put in front of you what is important to you by process of elimination. Knowing who we are is hard. It's hard. So give yourself a break. Eliminate who you are not first, and you're going to find yourself where you need to be. Instead of creating outcomes that take from us, let's create more outcomes that pay us back, fill us up, keep your fire lit, turn you on for the most amount of time in your future. We try our best, we don't always do our best. Well, architecture is a verb as well. And since we are the architects of our own lives, let's study the habits, the practices, the routines that we have that lead to and feed our success, our joy, our honest pain, our laughter, our earned tears. Let's dissect that and give thanks for those things. And when we do that, guess what happens? We get better at them, and we have more to dissect. Be discerning. Choose it because you want it. Do it because you want to. We're going to make mistakes. You got to own them. Then you got to make amends. And then you got to move on. Guilt and regret kills many a man before their time. So turn the page, get off the ride. You are the author of the book of your life.
Well, like I said earlier, like that, I had a pretty tough week. So going up to my mom's place to um try to clean out her estate from her passing, and it's a wreck. It's a mess. And just trying to deal with all of that and work and trying to keep a happy house. And so sometimes you just need an encouraging word, and we're not always going to get it. We're not always going to get it right. We're not always going to get it on the first try, the fifth try, the 10th try. But I think part of doing this business for so long is that you are going to have your ups and downs, and you have to push through them. But I also will say that things have seasons. And I've been part of groups that have surpassed their season, that like that's why I kind of like checking with you guys. Like, do you still want to do this? Is the season of this over? Um, and I try not to go past the grace that I have for things. So checking back in with myself and even with my family is like, is this still okay? Is there still grace on this season? Is it, we've had some setbacks. We've moved forward. We've made some money. We've spent too much money, all of those things. And to find out what that grace is for you and make sure things in your life are in order. Is you make all the money you want, but you have a terrible marriage and you drive around the block for an extra 30 minutes because you don't want to go home. I've been there, done that, right? And so I would give everything up to make sure, one, I'm healthy, and two, my spouse and my kid are healthy. Because it doesn't matter. You can have all the money. When I was in private aviation, all my clients were billionaires, like straight billionaires. Some of the most miserable people I've ever met in my life because they live in fear. They live in fear of a couple things. Fear of loss. They've lost everything they've worked for or inherited. And two, that they don't trust anybody. What do you want from me? You just want something. You don't want to be my friend. You want something from me. And I've seen that a lot in some of my family members who are very wealthy. Like it's really hard just to connect with family because they live in that fear of not being genuine. So I guess today's lesson is on what is success for you and your family? What is your legacy? And where's the grace still on your business? And like anybody's input, if they have anything to say about that, to make sure they're still where they should be. And sometimes, like, the grace runs out because you stop doing things, because you stop putting momentum and moving things forward. So there's a lot of things that self-reflection to think about. Should I still be doing this? Should I be putting in more time, less time? Is there grace to still be doing it? Anybody got words of wisdom? Doug always has words of wisdom.
That'd be that wise sage advice. I mean, one thing that would always get under my skin is when people say, "Well, you're so lucky. You're so lucky to live in that big house. You're so lucky to retire early. You're so lucky this and that." It wasn't luck. It was a lot of hard work. It was a lot of, starting off life doing the college thing and putting in that effort and building the careers and saving and investing and not wasting my money like all the other people around me were wasting their money. And now, when I ended up losing my job at 57 and not being able to get another job that was at that same level, I looked at what I had and said, yeah, I can stop. I got enough. So I've got enough to retire. And like I said, I always kind of joke about, my firearms business isn't paying my mortgage like some people, so I can be a little more casual about it. But it is something that I just like to do, and it's just for the joy of it. It's not really to pay any bills. But getting here, that was just hard work. It wasn't luck. So don't
Mm,
call it luck.
mm-mm. No, I don't, I personally, I don't think I really believe in luck. I don't think things are lucky. I think there's favor and inheritance and being in the right place in the right time. I think God has a lot to do with that. Um, I do pray a lot for connection and favor from people above me, and I think makes a big difference also because I get indoors where I really have no business being. I have no business teaching at the NRA annual meeting. Like there are people in our group like who are 1 million times smarter, better, faster in all aspects. Like I'm just grateful like I even get to be in the room with some of these folks. Grant, you always have something good to say. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm actually going through something. I've been suspended from my police department since January, and for supposed abuse of sick time, I had some medical issues this past summer, and it's completely unwarranted. I'm in one of those apartments now, unfortunately, where like six different officers are suing the police department. The chief is losing his mind. Um, I've been in this 23 years and never had a disciplinary issue or anything in my entire life. So I have an attorney involved and I had to lay out $4,000 as a retainer. And thank God I have this business to fall back on for now because I'm suspended without pay. Again, never been through this. I've been, you know,
Wow.
working nonstop since I'm 14 years old, never had a lapse in anything. And it's gonna get resolved, I think, pretty soon. Um, but unfortunately, I have my business to fall back on for some source of income. Without it, I would just have to work at one of the gun stores I'm employed at that I just, go there a couple hours, a month here and there, or something else. But I'll be getting all that money back and everything else, and be all back pay, and it should get resolved. But again, it's definitely been an emotional roller coaster going through something like that, especially when, I've been the first person to ever admit if I did something wrong and I deserve whatever punishment it is. This particular situation, not at all. And unfortunately, I'm one of three people going through it at my department. And so I'm very thankful for my business that I have it. And my attorney also advised me to file for unemployment, even though I'm still employed. I still have access to everything at work. I'm still, have my badge and have everything, all my logons to everything, and I'm still employed. But it's just a weird thing to be going through, and especially when you don't deserve it. And basically, I filed for unemployment. I think I got approved because even though I'm employed, they said put in for it. In worst case scenario, they deny you. They're not paying you. So I told them I disclosed that I have a business also. I put, I didn't lie about anything. And hopefully I'll be getting some money this week and getting my situation at work hopefully resolved by the end of the month.
How long are you suspended for?
It's been since January. And basically, they're just waiting on, this internal affair investigation to be
Oh,
concluded, which they're dragging their feet on, and they canceled it twice. And they know, like once they got the attorney and everything, that they screwed up, and apparently they're all shaking in their boots about everything and this and that. And I hate to be that guy, but they put me up against a wall and went after my job. So put me in a situation had to take the gloves off and do what I have to do.
yeah.
So
I've not that serious, but when I worked in private aviation, they fired me, and I got an attorney because it was so
mm,
unjust and
wow.
it's just it was kind of weird. It was
Right.
it was a Saturday, so not working. I went and got a massage. My
Mm,
boss called me and said, bring your kid and come hang out with my twin boys at the pool and we'll drink margaritas." And I told her no.
okay.
Monday, I didn't have a job.
Wow.
I was
Unreal.
like, what is happening?
Yeah, it probably seemed very surreal, like how did that possibly happen?
As soon as I got home, I noticed I couldn't get access to some of my folders. I was like,
Okay.
oh, there was weird tension in the office anyways. It
Wow.
was like weird. So, um, the truth shall set you free.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I'm the whole time I haven't been worried about it. Matter of fact, I'm even actually a little less stressed other than the financial part of it because at my job, dealing with the public's not a problem. It's dealing with the administration that we
Mhm.
work with. They're all a bunch of people, unfortunately, aren't qualified for the jobs that they have. And, it's just one of those things. So I'm getting through it, keeping my head above water and doing what I can and just trying to get by. And I know this will get resolved soon and go from there. But, I could relate to what you went through. And I'm sorry you went through that. And, a lot of things I guess happen to us that are completely unjust in life. And this is the first time I've ever gone through it.
Well, I think, going just like reviewing my life, right? Just thinking about things like if the shitty things didn't happen, where would I be? Like that stuff makes character, makes
Agreed.
it makes grit. And so as a parent, I'm not super great at it, but I try to let my kid feel pain.
Hmm. Understandable. Because it's not always going to be rainbows and sunshine every day. That's the reality of the world we live in.
Right. And
You know?
simple things like I forgot my laptop for school. Oh, I'm sorry, baby.
Hmm.
You don't have to tell your teachers or
Yeah.
I'm not driving to school to drop your laptop off.
Right.
But
And
you're not doing anything. Yeah, I know, and I'm gonna keep doing nothing.
I give you a lot of credit for that. I wish more parents are like that. We don't see that a lot. I mean, that's kind of how I grew up, so I'm very happy to hear that you're doing that for the future generation because you know how it is. Most parents are not like that and they're, don't want to let their children learn the hard way. But I also try and look at things like there's a silver lining to everything. Like, I work, 4 on, 4 off. I've ordered in all the time, a lot of mandatory overtime, which I refuse most of the time because I make more money running the business. And to be quite honest, the silver lining to this whole thing is I've finally been able to put a lot more effort into this. I finally set up my instructor dash last week, got some other things going, updated my website, got a good friend that's helping me with marketing. So I've been able to finally put a lot more effort into the business and schedule people and not having to cancel on them last minute because I get, stuck at work for some emergency or anything like that. So I've been able to really put a lot more effort and gain some more knowledge and thanks to, to you and everything and everybody here too. I've learned a lot. So I thank everybody for coming every Monday for this and I really appreciate it. And I thank Jamal a lot for even letting me know about this whole thing. So this has been great and I look forward to it every Monday. And anybody ever I can help anything with, I've been running my business for like 4 years. I've been more than happy to help. Anybody ever needs any help or anything.
Oh, thank you so much, Grant. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
What else? Anybody else? Oh, well, you know that I like everybody knows here I'm a believer, I'm a Christian. So Romans 8:28, God uses all things for good. And so I just remember that, like when you're walking through the valley, like I get to climb the mountain, and the mountain top of the mountain's gonna be great. So I try really hard, not always, but I try really hard to think that way, to like make sure my internal monologue is healthy. When your internal monologue is not healthy, you get stuck in ruts and you make bad choices. And so keeping your mental health, I think, is like probably one of the most important things you can do. All right, anybody else?
Um, Unlikely places. Uh, we were updating our customer base and followers and stuff like that. I set a goal of how many people we wanted to like serve within 30 days. And in the middle of doing that, I scheduled a post for a hat that we made, and that hat got traction. And then the shirt that we made got traction. And then where I was looking for, the normal stuff that we shoot for asses in classes turned into, hey, can I get a hat for $20? Which doesn't cost me $20 to make. So it moves us that much closer to that goal that we were shooting for. And yesterday I have a friend who's a vet, and he asked me because I'm a business owner and he had great ideas that he wanted to go talk to other business owners. And through the course of that day, I told him, I was like, look, I was like, I'm somebody that wants to help people. I was like, I don't think I'm a successful business owner because, of our bottom line and everything else. I was like, I'll be there one day, but not yet. And walking around with him, just basically cold calling, talking to other business owners, I realized that without that relationship, seeing both of them talk and just being a fly on the wall, I was like, when we go into some place and we're, trying to advance what we're doing and trying to help people, they don't see it that way. They see it as us just trying to milk them for money. So if you are going to go to a trying to recruit or advertise or something like that, make sure if first it's either someplace that you frequent and you love, or somebody that is a fly on the wall there, is a regular frequent flyer,
Mhm.
because without that like relationship, people did not take him serious. And I've had people ask us to like sponsor certain things and stuff like that, and it's very nice that they view us in that way, but we're also not in the position to do that. But you know, basically putting yourself in the other person's shoes, you know. You want some stranger just to walk in and say, at a brewery that we were at, he goes, we can do a beer in the name of, whatever his project was. And I watched his face go, he's like, yeah, you're the first guy to come in here and say that. He's like, I'm glad you mentioned that. And he looked at me, he goes, that's probably the 100th time I've heard that. And I was like, yeah, I was like, I don't really know why he invited me here because A, I don't drink anymore, and B, like, I'm it's a big no-no, firearms and alcohol at the
Mhm.
same time. I was like, so, but it was cool to watch someone else try and fail, because I'm so used to seeing it in the first person. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 10 to 1. It's like 10 no's to 1 yes. But most people don't even make it to 10. After they get their first one or two no's, That's it. It's not gonna work. I give up.
Yeah, I will say he's like I've never seen someone take a right turn on a conversation so quick. He was like, I see, he's like, you don't want our type of music here. I appreciate your time. And he looks at me, he goes, it's time to go. And I was like, okay, like let's go, I guess.
That's funny. All right, anybody else? Okay. My kid does fly out. She goes flies to California next Monday. Her flight is at 6, so I don't think I should have any issues. Um, but just keep an eye on our Facebook group in case her flight's delayed or something and I can't make it back on time. Also, we have hopefully we're currently testing, but our pay as you grow instructor stash option. So it doesn't cost anything except transactions. So you can have everything up. Um, you can have everything essentially for free, and then we'll take 5.9% of your ticket sale. So if you sell nothing, then it costs nothing. So we're estimating, so we're going to call it pay as you grow. And as you hit a particular mark where it won't make sense to do that anymore, you flip over to the monthly fee and then it's unlimited. So just keep that in mind. We're testing it now. My goal is to have it up and running by the annual meeting so we can launch it there. But if that helps anybody out, you can do that. So essentially it's free. You can have free everything, free website. So just use it. That out of all our clients we have about 30 clients on our platform. I would say 12 of them aren't using the product. And that makes me sad. Like you're paying me money every month to use Instructor Stash and you don't even put your information up. We have an option on there to put your class up with no date or location. Just put, you know, grants gun class 101, call for information, anything like, and and it's wasteful. It kind of makes me upset. It kind of makes me sad. Like we're wasting all this money, $50 every month. Just put your stuff up. Let people find you. So that is an option. Hopefully it'll be done here, like done. We're testing now, um, in I guess about 14 days. If that helps anybody out. And so I think, doing this owning Dash for 2 years, like just listening to what clients want and don't want, I think most of our clients are brand new business owners. So taking on liability is scary for them. So we're going to eliminate the liability part of it.
That actually makes a lot of sense, especially for guys like me that don't do a lot.
Hmm.
We've got small class sizes and infrequent dates, and if I have to pay $6 to get more leads via instructor dash, because my classes are about $100 a
Hmm.
class, I'd give $6 for a lead. I think
Hmm.
if it got me leads, and if it didn't get me leads, I doesn't really do anything. So
Right. There's no
that's
risk.
kind of that's making me get on your side now, because that was my problem in the past, that I just couldn't afford to spend any money based upon the amount of frequency and class sizes and that kind of thing. I just couldn't do it.
Hmm.
But if it costs me nothing, if nothing happens, well, okay, now I'm in.
It only took me 2 years to figure that out. Like better late than never. But yeah, so we try really hard to listen to our clients and what they want and don't want. And that's our next project here. So they're actually writing it as we speak, and they're actually messaging me questions I could see on my screen. But that's all I got, guys. Anything else? Spring is here. It was beautiful today.
I was wondering if anyone else here, just for to get more business, have linked up with like their local FFL dealers and gun
Mhm.
stores in the area. I'm affiliated with four of them. I actually had this, let's see if you can see this, business card made. So basically, the one place I'm
Mhm.
licensed to sell at also. I told the people at work there, it has on the card referred by a new client. They send me somebody, I give them $20 cash for each person they send me. So just a little incentive especially for concealed carry class. I charge 349 for that class.
Mhm.
So I'm giving every associate there, anytime they send somebody, $20 cash. It's like an easy $100 a week for them when they're working. So it's just another idea to link up with your local FFL dealers,
Mhm.
whether you work for them or not, or just, maybe you send them your clients to make your purchases. They send you people for training. And
Mhm.
it's worked out very well for me. I've been doing it that way now for about 3 years, and I definitely have gotten some good, some really good people, some good clients, and a lot of people coming in for training that way.
Mhm. Yeah, so I have a partnership with our Cabela store down the street.
Oh,
I
wow.
get some people call it Bass Pro. Um,
That's huge.
yeah, so we refer business back and forth. There's no what I do give them, I give them 4 classes a year for free for their clients.
Wow. And one
So,
hand washes the other, it works out well
right.
that way.
So they're selling, 100 guns a week or more, probably more than that. Like their clients have an opportunity to go to a gun safety class in their building.
Wow.
Yeah, I was finding that most of the places around me, they have their own instructors and their own
Mhm.
classes, so they're not interested
Mhm.
in really helping out the little guy that comes in here and says, "Hey, got anyone you want to, refer over?"
Mhm.
So that's where I find the difficulty is that you almost get the hand because we've already got our own instructors.
This is really true. You got to find the gun stores that don't do training. And gun stores are getting smarter and smarter and offering, depending on the state, requirement or whatever, but
Mhm.
offering training in their building to their own clientele. It's easy money. It's really easy money for them. And the fact that we have a couple of gun stores down here that don't do that is crazy to me. You have the space and the clientele. And in Virginia, you don't have to shoot. So you can just listen to a lecture.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know why you wouldn't. Put
It's a
some chairs up and a TV and call it a day, man. Bring some donuts. And so they don't.
Minnesota, Minnesota finally came around and required a minimum of 25 rounds. It used to be just show firearm safety and proficiency with handling a gun. And some of the not so great instructors meant that was one shot into the berm. And they would give you a permit. And so they finally came around and said, no, you've got to have 25 rounds and at multiple distances. So it's okay. At least
I
I've always
wish,
done that.
well, I have very mixed feelings on that. But from a business perspective, that would wash away all these hotel
Yeah.
1 hour conferences that we have here. Drive me crazy. But from a constitutional, again, I talk about this all the time. Should we mandate rules on exercising your Second Amendment?
It's a very conflicting subject amongst us because, being a Second Amendment absolutist, no, there should be no rules. But I really want people to get training because
Mhm.
they don't know what they don't know, what they've learned from TV, and 90% of it's wrong.
Oh, it's so
Oh
bad.
man.
I was watching this show called The Equalizer. It's really terrible and very woke, but they have a lot of gun handling in it. And if you know who Queen Latifah is, she's like, a
Yeah.
rapper when I was like fifth grade, right? She's like the main character. And they had a revolver like on a bad guy, and they made the Racky noise.
Mhm.
It is that. It was not even like, and every time they pull a gun out, it makes the I don't even know. It's not what's the official term? Like it racks, but it's a noise, right? The rack noise, right?
Yeah, my wife no longer likes to watch shows with me that involves guns because it's you just can't help it. You're pointing out this and that and the other, and like You know, how many rounds did they shoot? Look at that. They got their finger on the trigger. Look at that. The sound, you know,
Yeah, I
it's
always
crazy.
count rounds.
I do too. I count the rounds.
Count
It's
rounds.
a sickness.
Yeah. I was like, you're at 20. That's a Glock 17. 17 plus one, your two round magical rounds came out of nowhere.
Although the endless machine guns or machine pistols.
Yeah, and all the bad guys in the show, every single one of them has some kind of full auto, but it's tiny. It's only about, this big, and they shoot really accurate with it, with like shoot like here. It's
Hmm.
just very funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, guys, before we wrap up? Stay
I was at the
encouraged.
Eagle, the Oaks Gun Show, one of the big ones in PA yesterday, and I bumped into the guys from the local gun shop, and the guy was like, "Hey, just let you know, gave your card to like 3 people." You know, he's like, "Yeah, there was a couple other cards there, but he's like, because of my background, he's like, I referred 3 people to you, so he's like, you got 3 people coming." So I'm like, "Yo, thank you." So definitely a good thing getting in with the gun shops
Yeah.
and letting them know who you are. So
And
definitely
if
help out.
absolutely, and if you can get in with a gun shop and have a good relationship, I think part of the secret for the gun shop is that they know you. You can't just go and put your flyers in and like that's it. You have to go make an appearance every week, and you better not go empty-handed. Better bring a pizza with you or a box of cookies or
Or maybe
like,
buy a little ammo at the local gun shop. A little bit.
yeah, your face, like they need to remember you. And I think that's part of my success is that when I first started, I would go to the gun shows or the gun shops every single week.
Yeah, I've been to the Oaks Gun Show. Went in January, then I think I went December, and then they had one I think February, and they had one yesterday. And just going there, and I pretty much go there, and I'm just politicking, networking, and I didn't even make it through the whole thing. They got like 1,500 tables. I think
Oh
I
my
made it
God.
to the second room because
Yeah.
I was talking like to so many people and passing out flyers. I met one guy who was very um, small world. He's in the Army Reserves. He works on base where I work at. He's in a unit with a girl that I know. That's one of the career counselors that I work with. I actually helped her come over to be a career counselor, and he makes slings. So I'm like, hey, you know, let's combine and work together. Bring your slings out for when I start doing the AR-15 course. And he has some rigs set up. He said he can bring out, settle the table up, so people could demonstrate and see. So I'm like, hey. So pretty much that's what I've been doing when I go to these gun shows. It's like I'm not just going there to buy something. I'm going there, passing my card out and stuff like that. And I think I'm gonna try to get a table because last one that I went to, I met this other guy. He was the Air Force, and he was stationed at McGuire, and we were talking, and he set a table up, and he's like, "Hey, this is how I'm getting success." So I've been seeing people doing that. So I
Hmm.
figured, I talked to Grant about it. So like for us to, grab a table one of the big gun shows like that because you figure it's a 3-day gun show, 1,500 tables. There's a lot of people going through there because the last time, I don't know if you heard of Black Rambo. He's a big YouTube guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I met him out there, and I met oh, what's his name? Daniel Richardson. I met him last gun show, and I was chopping it up with him for about a good 45 minutes, talking to him, and I told him maybe we could work something out once I get this other stuff me and Grant got working on to bring him out. And once Larry Vicker's stuff gets straightened out, try to get Larry Vicker to come out, talking to him about that. So just using the connections I got, especially being in the military, and I know a lot of people.
Yeah, that's definitely important, especially like Jamal with military and my law enforcement background. I even do the concealed carry background investigations at my job. So anyone that has connections in your line of work or family or friends, reach out and ask them, send you people. And Jamal got the right idea with doing the tables. This past summer, we had like a local rodeo. I sponsored them, had a big giant, like 8 foot banner, was up every week, had a table there every week. I must have probably, I didn't get a ton of people, but I must have gotten at least probably about 30 people throughout the summer, just doing that. So whenever you guys have like a local event that you can maybe sponsor or get a table at, or a gun show, like Jamal said, definitely invest. It's not a lot of equipment. It's just not a lot of money. And I think you can all do very well with it. You just got to, hustle a little bit, talk, and you'll be surprised how much traction you'll get.
So our local, it's called the Nation's Gun Show. It's huge. It's huge. Um, there's a year waiting list for a table. They called me. It's like, we had a table for you. It was like the day before. It's like, I don't have promo stuff to do. I can't do that. So I don't know if my year started over, but that happened last month. I was pretty bummed actually. Okay, guys, it's 8:31. Anything else going on? Okay. Just keep an eye on Facebook on next Monday. Just make sure we have class. I think we should be fine. Okay. All right. I'll see you all soon. God bless. Bye.
Thank you. Take care.